Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Sarah Jenkins.
And I'm Elora Murray. I am so excited for today's podcast because it is based off of reality dating.
This is a topic that we are all really passionate about here at Fresh Off the Set. I feel like us hosts and Fresh Living, we're always chatting behind the scenes about what we're watching, and I love a good reality TV relationship show.
Oh,
Big
we
fan.
do. Everybody that I work with knows that I am knee deep in Love Island,
Yes.
specifically Love Island UK. I discovered it. I'm a little late to the game. It's fine. I discovered it kind of in January of this year. And there are so many seasons that I'm not quite caught up yet. But I love it, Sarah.
Yes, I feel like every time I see you, I'm like, tell me more, because you just talk about being behind on it. I have never started, but it sounds so good and so addictive.
And I love it for a couple of reasons. One, I am a sucker for a British accent. It is what it is. I come in and they say things and I'm like, oh, I'm going to start saying that. I also like watching it, and I feel so wise sitting on my couch in my jammies eating my potato chips or crisps, as they would say.
Yeah, once you start watching more than one, it's like you're referring to everything the British way. I love it.
And I just sit there with my sweet husband who watches it with me, and I like give them advice from the couch. I'm like, no.
As one does.
I'm like, that is her biggest fear. He should have gone about it this way. They need to communicate.
I love it. We become armchair experts. It's so good. I do the same thing with The Bachelor. I've been watching it for like 15 years. It's such a good show. Relationship based, same thing. What is it that makes us so fascinated with these, relationships that we like to dissect? We like to pretend that we are the experts with everything. And I love how you really delved into that, Elora.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that is a great question, because I talked to Dr. Frieda about this. She's a research psychologist and a media commentator. And she talks about, why do we love these shows so much? How can they help us? How can they hurt us? Anyways, it was a really fascinating interview. What do you say we take a listen?
Let's do it.
I am talking with Dr. Frieda, who is a wonderful psychologist, and I am so excited to talk about reality dating shows, modern dating, all the things in between. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we here at Fresh Living, Fresh Off the Set, we talk about reality dating shows quite often. Every day we come in, we're talking about the dating shows we're watching, the dating shows we've seen, the dating shows that are coming out. Why are so many people obsessed with reality dating TV?
It's addictive. It's fun. You get to see other people's problems, and you forget about your own. Like, who doesn't want that? And then you get to see these gorgeous people trotting around half dressed. So whoever is turned on to that too. So it's done in a safe way. People do it as couples. They're not even going to the movies. They're watching Netflix, and who knows, Love is Blind and Love is whatever it is. And then they talk about it afterwards, and they discuss who's right and who's wrong. And sometimes it even helps the relationship, because instead of targeting the person you're with, you can talk about somebody else who has nothing to do with it, hint, hint, but it sounds familiar. So there's a lot of reasons why we really benefit from watching other people go through these relationships. The problem is, and here's the problem, a lot of these people end up splitting up, so it's not necessarily for their benefit, but it is entertaining.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, all of us here at Fresh Living love watching them. Well, me and my producer mostly. And it is interesting because I will sit there and watch it. I'll see these people act, and I am not a professional by any means, but I sit there and watch them, and I'm like, oh, you should have told her the truth. You should have been honest. So that I am definitely in that group.
For sure. And what is that person doing with the other? This person is too good for that. They should be with somebody else. And so we're judging everybody, and we're feeling that we're the professionals, which is makes us, in a way, a little bit more seasoned to what's going on. But yes, it is interesting when they match these couples. Sometimes you wonder, why did they match these two together? There's one that I'm thinking of. He's a pilot. I forgot the name of the show. And she, I don't know what she is. She likes to drink. That's what I do know.
Uh-huh.
And he keeps telling her that he can't take the drinking, and she keeps socializing and not coming home. And I'm thinking, who matched these two people up? So a lot of these things are to entertain. We have to have that in mind. It's
Absolutely.
Fun,
so
yeah.
all of these reality dating shows, I swear there is a new one that comes out all the time. Does it point to a larger cultural commentary about dating and romance in our modern age?
We're having a lot of difficulty with dating. You know, just a swoop of a button, we're on to the next person. It's way too easy. It used to be you would find somebody in your community, and then you'd only have a few people, and then that would be it. There's too many choices today. We don't know who the background of these people are, what they're really saying. You know, I love sports. I love to go on vacations. What does that really mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't love to travel?
Yeah, who doesn't want to travel? Come on. And so, and everybody's 10 years younger, and it's really something that is not really working. And it's a dilemma because people are hooking up,
Mm-hmm.
they're staying together, and then they're leaving because they're not going into the depth of what a partnership and a relationship is about. And the reality is also, it's not about the superficial, what you look like, because that fades. It doesn't necessarily fade physically,
Mm-hmm.
but the importance of it fades. When you have a meeting of the minds, and you're there for each other, and you're growing together, and you're having fun, and there's chemistry, that's really going to last a lifetime if you keep developing and working on it. But we've gotten very lazy. We want a quick fix with everything. This internet has been great, but it's been a curse as well, as you know. And that quick fix is something that is not going to give us what we need in the long run. As I'm talking to you, I'm thinking quickly of this one patient
Mm-hmm.
who went on one of these dates. And I said, what happened? He says, well, she walked in. She was shorter, older, heavier, whatever. And I said, so what did you do? He says he excused himself, never came back. How horrible is this?
Oh,
I guess I was doing
Oh
a good
my
job.
word.
It's very, very, what is the word? I can't think of it, but pretty bad. So it's pretty crass. People are crass. It's painful out there. It's competitive. And, you know, the way the girls are looking today, too, you know, everything is, we just need to buy a pump.
Mm-hmm.
What about a Botox pump? That's what they should be selling.
I
Pumping yourself up wherever you need. You just keep going back and forth, because that's what's going on today. We have this competitive arena, especially for young women today. So it is getting harder and harder for people to have solid, meaningful relationships.
Absolutely. I remember when I was on dating apps, I'm happily married now, but when I was on dating apps, I felt very much like I would almost have to filter my photos to look like what I thought I was supposed to look like. And that's not the truth of it. That's just kind of the mindset I got myself into because of different things I was seeing. And honestly, I think reality TV did that a lot to me.
Everybody's doing it, though. You're not the only one.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody, yeah.
It was very, very hard. And luckily for me, I met my husband through mutual friends, and I know that doesn't happen for everyone, but it can be hard. So what advice do you have for someone who maybe they have a job that they're working all day, or maybe they live in a place that it's easier to online date? Would you just say, stay away from it? What are some advice or tips you have with it?
Well, first, you have to know what you're looking for. You have to be in a good place. You have to be healthy, emotionally healthy. Then you can find your match. If you don't feel good enough about yourself, you'll find somebody that you can feel that you can push down and intimidate that person. So you can only find healthy someone who's in a good place. And then where to meet. Of course, to meet somebody when you're fixed up, that's the best way to go. To meet somebody when you go to activities that you enjoy, that's something that's extremely beneficial. You have a common bond. People don't think that way today. They want to save money. They want to have a quick fix. So going back to the way things used to be, getting in touch with what makes you happy, having activities that represent who you are places that you'll be able to connect and bond with more than someone who has a certain look or says things that you want to hear. Now, I'm not saying everybody out there is superficial. Mm-hmm. Everybody out there is not telling the truth. But if some people start telling the truth, I'm 40, but I look 30. Okay, instead of saying I'm 30. Right. Or, whatever it is. I don't have enough downtime to enjoy travel. Things that make you real and vulnerable will be much more relatable to the other person who also has issues and who's not perfect as well. Because it's very intimidating. If that person is gorgeous, has money, does everything, where is there room for you at all? It's almost as if they're so independent, they don't need a partner. So that's another thing that's going on. Plus, marriage today is different than it used to be. Mm-hmm. 70% of the student body in college are women, are young women, mm-hmm. 70%. And women are really catching up to equality with pay as well. So what does that mean in the relationship? They have much more say. So it's not as if, till death do us part anymore. It's what happens in between till death do us part. What are you going to do? That role image that we had, men work, women, that's out the door. That's no longer the case. Do you want to stay together as far as working? Does one person want to stay home and the other person want to go out and work? Is it okay if the woman makes more money than the man? Sometimes men are intimidated. And my research has shown that women who have high status careers have better relationships and they're more listened to and they're happier. So we're talking about marriage and something serious. All these shows are not really contributing to that. They're contributing to having fun and what not to do. And they're tempting it. Who on earth, now think about this, the best marriages possible would want to be tempted with somebody else staying in somebody's apartment for 3 weeks, sleeping in the same room with them together? Come on. They're setting problems. I mean, Is this insane or what? I'm thinking, are you kidding me?
Yep. Yep. And I know it. I think I know what show you're referring to. I remember watching this one, and it was pretty insane to me that they were like, okay, well, you go be with someone else for 3 weeks and see if you still like me after that, and then we'll think about having a commitment.
Sure. And don't be so secure, because the reality is everything new is always better because you don't get into the minutia of the important things. So they're going to come back and say, hey, this person treated me better, or this person had less hang-ups. And so you can't be so sure. And that's the sad part about it, because while we're having fun, relationships are breaking up. And you can take the best type of relationship, the most secure, the most bonded couple. But if you find somebody new and you bring that person in, hey, they're going to come in with less problems. So it's something that is not sustainable for any long-term relationship, and that's why we're trying to set something up that's different, with seeing people and looking at what could be the problem, instead of going into the problem itself while it's happening. I always wondered why we had these financial prenups instead of emotional prenups to prevent it from happening. Setting up the relationships to work. How do you spend your money? How often do you want to go on vacation or date night or see your in-laws or how do you fight? And all these things. Do you believe in monogamy? All these things do enter relationships. I don't want to scare you. How long have you been
You know what? You're not. I've talked about this with my viewers before. I've been divorced, then I was single for 10 years because I needed a lot of that time. I needed to focus on myself. I needed to heal, figure it out, and then met my husband. And because I was, a little older, as some people may say, but by the time I met my husband, we were both old enough to be like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. And we were really good with communicating. So I'm not scared at all.
Well, maybe we do. Maybe that's what we need. First marriage is a tryout period. And then the second marriage, we know already what we need. Not a bad idea.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, but come on, 20-year-olds getting married, who are they and what do they want? And do they know themselves? It's just pretty scary. So we really do need to be able to know what to expect and know if we can handle it and if there are any secrets. Because once these things come out, it's not as bad as if you find them out on your own. Because then the conflict begins. As somebody who does this, I'm in this field, people come to me when they're already in a bad place. Wouldn't it be good if they looked at what could be the issues and where to go with these situations? So, in reality, people who are married live longer and they're happier, believe it or not. With all the fighting, maybe to get that tension out of us, we lift all these stress hormones on each other because, whatever happened during the day, we let it out on the partner. Some people anyway. I'm not going to say you do. But, so it's something that seems very delicate, back and forth. But it's a game. It's a dance. But what we do in our marriage or in our relationship today is something that we have to diffuse, and then we have to come together. It's a process. As they used to say, people who didn't speak or argue were the ones that had the problems. There's always stuff to get out. But when that gets out, after that, you're even closer than before.
I agree.
You can tolerate each other after that. That says an awful lot.
So what would you say? So people aren't going to stop watching reality shows. It's so entertaining. What do you want people to bear in mind when they are sitting down watching these reality shows? What are some things that you want to be like, hey, I need you guys to remember this when you're sitting here and watching these really entertaining reality shows?
I need you guys to know that you can have fun. But if there are any issues that you're trying to distract yourself from, it's never too late to fix things because you can be happier than ever if you let things happen in life to you or you make things happen. Making things happen is uncomfortable sometimes, but you get experiences, you get results better than ever. And if you have a partner who's willing to work with you, who's not sabotaging, who's not blaming you for any of the stuff that's going on, but saying, let's grow together. That's the best kind of relationship because in life we need to keep evolving. You know that. You can't just stay still anyway.
Absolutely.
Years, that's where you're going and you keep growing and changing. And that's what makes it interesting. So you may change your mind, what you said in the beginning. That's okay. The other person may have grown and see that they're evolving also. So it makes it fun. That's why marriages last so long. Because it's not that they're stale or boring. It's that they keep changing and keep introducing a different people, the same person, but different types of character traits as time goes on.
I love that. I think that's beautifully put. And I just have this one last question before we wrap up. We've talked about it. Modern dating culture can be a little rough. We talked about it at length. What would you say to someone if you had a patient come in, if you were just chatting with someone who is just really down in the dumps, really struggling with kind of the way the dating culture is? What would you say to encourage them, to keep going, that person could be out there? What would you say to them?
Don't settle. Know what you're worth. Know when it feels right. Trust your judgment. Don't listen to anyone else. Being married does not mean you're happy. And getting a divorce does not mean you're unhappy. You have to go ahead and go with the rhythms that make sense. Getting married later today is the new norm. If any, I hate to say the new norm, that word. Anyway, it's a killer because everyone uses it. But today people are getting educated and then they're getting married, or they're having children and then they're getting married. We have all kinds of ways of conducting our lives, which is very refreshing. So there are no rules. Just because you have friends who are in relationship earlier than you doesn't mean it's going to stay there. There's so many people in their 40s getting divorced because they did do the wrong thing, because they didn't know what to look for. So knowing what to look for, either getting married and then getting married again, or actually looking and seeing what kind of life, what kind of temperament, what your game plan, your future is going to be like, doing some work before that is going to save you a lot of future mistakes.
Absolutely. Okay, and this one last question before we wrap up. We have kind of talked about, the negative sides to watching reality shows, but are there any positive lessons that we can learn from watching these shows?
Well, we learn what not to do, not to flirt, not to hurt the other person's feelings. If you're fooling yourself, you're going to break up a relationship. So put your ego aside. And when you do that, you enjoy each other much more, because if you care about someone, you're happy if they're happy. So we need to grow up, mature, know what important is, and know that it's not a fleeting moment. When you're with somebody, if you feel that it's something that you enjoy and it's just temporary, what's going to happen to you eventually is that temporary stage is going to leave. And then you're not going to be with that person, because what got you motivated is not going to be there anymore. So be careful with what gets you motivated. I forgot your question, but that's okay.
You're doing great. We were talking about positive lessons from reality shows.
Thank God. I don't know where I'm going. Okay. Positive lessons. All right. So be careful. I love your laugh. It's really contagious here. But, be careful of what it is that is really going to be long lasting. So when you're watching these shows, most of everything you're watching is not long lasting. Trust me, it just is not. And when you see these couples getting together with one another, you'll notice that they all have drinks in their hands, because that's what the producers want them to be. They want them to be a little high, vulnerable, and out there. The good thing about it is when you're watching these mistakes and you're walking away without a drink in your hand, and you know that you don't have to put yourself in that kind of situation, it's very stressful. It's very stressful to be single, to compete, to have to make decisions, to have to know the answers. Mm-hmm. All that stuff is a learning lesson when you're watching for yourself or for your partner or anything, that it's okay to have fun with somebody, but that's something that's part of the relationship. It's not all of the relationship. What do friends say about the person you're with? What do the relatives say about the person you're with? Uh-huh. Has that person had problems in the past? I mean, who are you really with? Some people have been incarcerated. Do you know about that person? Not that you personally would know that, but I'm just saying there are all kinds of levels, and we need to actually research who we're with and to see that what we have in front of us is not only somebody who tells the truth, but somebody who you can have a future with, and away from these shows. So these shows actually don't have anything to do with what a relationship should be all about. It's interesting to see what they're wearing.
Absolutely.
Or what they look like in the pool, or when they're going hiking, or the things that they're doing that are fun. Those things you can go ahead and say, I wouldn't mind going on a helicopter ride or on a boat trip.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't mind those things? Who wouldn't mind being on an island all summer, expenses paid? Dr. Frieda, you have been a treasure trove of tips and knowledge. It has been
Let's go on one of those trips.
Let's do it. All right. We'll talk after.
We'll make a toast.
Perfect. Dr. Frieda, thank you so much. And
My
thank
pleasure.
thank you to everyone for listening. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.